Okay, so this today is March 8th. It's International Women's Day. It's a day to commemorate like women workers and just womankind. And we're here as a firm and Ovarious Psychocycles to remind folks that there's still a lot of oppression going on in the world, and that it's time to end the genocide of womankind. Basically, there's a lot of violence that's happening against women in subtle and overt forms. So it's important to remind folks of that and remind folks of how these state institutions are perpetrating and upholding this violence against women. Sometimes the violence could be overt in the sense of like women are like literally dying at the hands of like the police, or it could be subtle in the sense that the majority of women are in poverty, and when they're in poverty they have less access to health care. So when they have less access to health care, then that's a form of like violence against womankind, you know what I mean? So that's why we're here today, and that's why we're having this huge event. Yeah.
So I'm a family physician, and as a doctor, I'm a doctor at one of the LA County Public Safety Net hospitals. And I see every day, every night since I become a physician, that when we empower women to have choices and rights and dignity in how they live their lives, not only do their individual health change, but their children's health changes, their family's health changes, and their community's health changes. Because someone who's fighting for community health and public health for everybody, one of the best ways to do that is to help women's health. So that's why I'm here.
And I'm also the daughter of a queer immigrant, and I'm here to support everyone against transphobia, homophobia, patriarchy, and all other forms of oppression. And it's just amazing to be here with all of these incredible women, because we need to take a stand for our rights, and we also need to represent those women that aren't here with us right now because they were taken away from us too soon.
When we think of women's issue, as someone who is coming from a mother who is Latina, and I'm multiracial, right? So for me, when I think of like an issue for my mom, it's my issue too. When an issue of my friend and my colleague here, when it's an issue of hers, it's an issue of mine. So I'm here in solidarity. And when we think of all this work, there's so many intersections. And when we think of LGBT issues, it's also women's issue, because there's women who identify as LGBT. And so that's a lot of the reasons why we came out today, and specifically to support Emily and her activism here.
And the reason we're here is because we are tired of seeing how many young women, children and little girls are forced to leave their home countries.
Is that why you brought your daughter?
I mean, my daughter was born in the U.S. and she faces a lot of oppressions here, but definitely when I work with young children from Central America and other parts of the world that are crossing the border every day, just what I hear every day is very devastating.
I'm an intersectional feminist, okay? So I'm enjoying like working for the empowerment of women, supporting women, making sure that they have the ability to be listened to and supported, things like that. Okay?
So what brought me here?
Yeah.
I'm a feminist. The women's struggle is part of my struggle too.
How did you learn to be a feminist?
Sorry?
How come did you be a feminist?
I guess growing up, people would always ask us like, what qualities did the leader have, and like what did the leader look like? And it never really looked like my mom, and I always thought that she was the biggest leader I knew. And there was just a disconnect for me that things that women just weren't represented in superhero, whatever it was.
This kind of event can change our situation, like women's situation or something, generally?
Yeah, I think education can change
amount of pushback when you educate.
Basically, our expectation is to, like as you see right now, just gather all these women together, and not just to have this march and not just to celebrate International Women's Day, but also to move forward from here. To work together now that we've recognized these issues. Now, what can we do to change them? So that's what our expectations are. That it's not going to end here. We're going to move it forward after today.
This is one type of expression of movement. So affirm and it goes to a lot of other things. So this is an expression of solidarity, coalition building, and working together. Thank you very much.
I'm hot, but that's one minor factor. You're uncomfortable for an hour or two, but the lasting effect is a lot more than that. Thank you.
Of Puerto Rican, Black, and Native American women, and the ongoing sterilization of women of color in our prison system. We remember the thousands of Ixtil women of Guatemala who were victims of a military plan to first rape and then exterminate.